All right, take two. We'll see if this works better this time. Last time the audio was bad. There was an echo. I think the Bluetooth was on my phone and my my stereo thing for my microphone. So I think that gave us bad audio last time. Hopefully it's better this time. So I went and got some lunch, got an extra bike back here. So that's the difference between last time. So let's get into it. I want to talk about Dynasty Trust today. Let's talk Dynasty Trust. So it's a type of sub-trust. Let's see. There we go. Make sure that music is off. I don't know if that's going to be annoying or not, or if it's going to sound good in the background. We'll turn it all the way off. Sub-trust is a trust created by another trust after the trust creators pass away. The age trust is the most common type of sub-trust, where it's held until the beneficiary reaches a certain age. You also have a special needs trust for disabled beneficiaries or someone receiving benefits so they don't lose their government benefits from their inheritance. Dynasty trust, which we're going to get more into today. Education trust, pet trust. So those are some types of sub-trust. Let's get into some tax basics first. So income tax, so Mr. Estate, money from his job, his paycheck, Uncle Sam intercepts part of it, withholds for income tax purposes, and he files an income tax return. So that's income tax. Now, if his dad wanted to make a gift, the gift tax may apply. And it's up to the giver of the gift to file a gift tax return if it's necessary. If dad passes away and now his estate makes a transfer, the estate tax may apply. Okay, annual exclusion. So this refers to the amount that can be gifted per year without causing a gift tax return to need to be filed. That amount is currently $15,000 in 2021. So if dad wants to make a gift of $10,000, he makes the gift, and no gift tax return is necessary for that type of gift. Now, what if dad wants to make a larger gift? What if he wants to make a gift of over $15,000? So let's bring in exemption to the picture. So exemption, this is how much a person can either give during their lifetime or transfer when they pass away via the estate tax. So the estate and gift tax work together. So if dad wanted to make a gift of $1,015,000, then he would need to file a gift tax return for that gift. So $15,000 would come off it for annual exclusion, and then $1 million would be subtracted from his exemption. So that $1 million gift, that used up $1 million of exemption during his life. So he now has $9 million remaining. Now if dad passes away with $12 million in a trust and $9 million of exemption left, that would mean his estate would have $3 million subject to estate taxes. So the estate tax bill on that $3 million, let's take a look at that and see how much it would be. So here's the tax schedule. You can see after $1 million, it's 40%, and it gets there pretty quick. So look at 30%. After 100,000, it's at 30%, and then it scales all the way up to 40%. So for $1 million, the amount of taxes paid would be, or the taxes owed would be $345,800. And then our case, there's another $2 million subject to estate taxes at 40%, which would be $800,000. So in this scenario, with $3 million subject to the estate tax, $1,145,800 would be the estate tax bill on that size of an estate. Okay, let's talk about control versus ownership, because this is really what makes the Dynasty Trust so great. Okay, so if you had the choice to receive your inheritance either outright in your name directly or inside of a trust, what would be better? Well, let's take a look. It depends on the type of trust. the first thing you want to look at is who's the beneficiary? That's yourself. So you're the beneficiary, the one entitled to receive from the trust. The next question is, who's the trustee? So who's going to manage the assets in the trust? Is it someone else? Or the way we usually draft our Dynasty Trust is we let the kids become the trustee at the age of 35. So if they're over age 35, they get to manage their own Dynasty Trust. Now, next question is how can you get money out of the trust? What can it be used for? So distribution are at the trustee discretion. So if you're the trustee, that makes it pretty easy. I just had a call earlier today with the beneficiary who was inheriting a trust like this. And he was wondering basically how it works. And what I explained to him is that he's wearing two hats. He's got two roles. So him as the beneficiary, if he wants money out of the trust, he just needs to convince himself as the trustee that he needs the money. Power of appointment, what this is, this gives the beneficiary of the trust the ability to choose the future beneficiary. They get to a point where the trust goes after them. Or as we sometimes call this, the power of disappointment, meaning if the kids are the designated beneficiaries and they upset him, then he can send it all to charity instead. This Dynasty Trust is outside of his estate, outside of the beneficiary's estate. So what that means, it means a couple things. It means that it's not subject to the estate tax when he passes away. So whatever this grows to, whatever the value in this trust, this Dynasty Trust, it's not going to be included in the beneficiary's estate when they pass away. It's already cleared the estate tax burden to fund this Dynasty Trust. So whatever it grows to can come out free of the estate tax. Now, maybe you're not concerned about the estate tax with the exemption so high, over $10 million. It just so happens that the best test for asset protection, meaning the best way to protect assets from a creditor that may be able to reach those assets if they get a judgment, is to have them outside of reach for the estate tax system as well. So really we like this asset protection. If the exemption is lowered against the estate tax, I know there's talk about dropping it from $10 million back down to $1 million, then this estate tax conversation is going to be more important for more families. So anything acquired in the name of the individual is subject to the estate tax once they pass away. So yeah, it's best to receive that inheritance inside of a Dynasty Trust. And then since you're the trustee of it, the child or the trustee and the beneficiary, they can choose how to manage the assets. So if they wanted to purchase a new house, instead of pulling money from the trust, they could have the trust buy a house. So take assets from the trust and use that to purchase the house. Now, if you purchase a house that you're using for an investment, that you're renting it out, it's a good idea to put that in an LLC, add a layer of protection on there. So that way the tenants there, they're leasing from an LLC, they don't know that it's actually owned by part of this Dynasty Trust. So it gives you another layer of protection against the estate tax here and any other types of creditors. Whereas if you accumulate assets in your name, if you pulled money from the trust and use that to buy assets and invest in different things, all of those are subject to the estate tax when you pass away, and they're also at risk if there was a creditor. Okay, so here's how it works if you have beneficiaries of different ages. So this scenario, we have 3 kids, 18, 21, and 23. The terms of the Dynasty Trust say that they get to become the trustee at age 35. So what will happen is the trustee is going to create a separate Dynasty Trust for each beneficiary. So they'll each get their share of the inheritance in their trust. And then they can choose, how to invest it depending on what their needs are. So the trustee, while they're all under the age of 35, the trustee is going to manage the trust for them. Once this oldest beneficiary reaches the age of 35, then he's going to be his own trustee. Compare that to the age trust. So this age trust is designed to end at the age of 30. So if the beneficiary is 33, they would get all of their share directly and outright. The 21-year-old, so he's going to get 1/3 because he's over 20. And then the rest is going to be held in trust for him until he reaches age 30. The youngest beneficiary at age 18, she's below 20, so all of her share will be held in a trust for her until she reaches that age. So what's the opportunity? What did we learn today? We learned that you want a dynasty trust. So get your parents to set up a dynasty trust if they're doing their estate plan, or if it's been a while since they've updated their estate plan. It's time to get it set up. This is the best way to receive your inheritance. Dynasty, it equals generation skipping planning, generation skipping trust, generation skipping transfer tax, if you want to get technical. Here's a topic I love. I think it's interesting. So is it possible to change a trust after your parents are deceased to add a dynasty trust? Maybe, definitely maybe. I would say probably yes in Arizona and California through the decanting statutes. Decanting, it's a way to non-judicially change an irrevocable trust. So lots of opportunities there to fix a bad trust. And that could be, that might be one of the ways that we fix a bad trust. If they should have had the dynasty planning in there, but it didn't get updated or it got lost because of an amendment or something like that, it may be possible to add it in after the fact. So pretty cool stuff. The other thing, if you're doing your own estate planning, this is how you want to set up your kids. This is how you start your legacy, is with a dynasty trust. Now, I've helped families in the third and fourth generation where they benefited from the foresight of their grandparents and sometimes great-grandparents by doing a little planning. And this is traditional planning. So this is the way that a lot of the Congress and senators, their old money is wrapped up in these generation skipping trusts. So even if the exemption does get lowered to have the estate tax affect more people, this old money that's already in dynasty trust is not going to be affected. It's very unlikely that we see any types of changes in the law that go after these dynasty trusts. They might get rid of the opportunities so you can no longer create them, but it's really, really unlikely that they would go back and change anything else. Let me play our commercial. Let's see if it recorded. Today's sponsor, Dana & Associates. Today's episode is sponsored by Dana & Associates. Dana & Associates is a law firm practicing in Arizona and California in probate and estate law. If you need help setting up your own plan, or if you need help administering the plan after the loss or disability of a loved one, we can help you with probate, estate planning, trust administration, and anything in between. Give us a call today to set up your free consultation, 480-924-4424, or visit our website at danalegalhelp.com. There you go. You can also text us. I put up our text line there as well. So if you want to give us a text, you can contact us that way. Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you have any questions or leave them in the comments. Any other topics that you'd like to hear discussed, leave those in the comments as well. And we'll see you next week.